Mankind is a species with amnesia. On the whole, it would be fair to say that we have no sense of who we are, where we are, why we are here, or what we are doing. We have some vague sense that Homo sapiens sapiens have been around for about 200,000 years, and that civilization as we know it started around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. What were we doing with the rest of that time? Did previous civilizations exist that are lost to memory? Is Atlantis really a myth? The premise of this presentation is that our history, our cosmology, our science, our medicine and our religions have been policed by a secret society, or rather by several of them, and are not painting an accurate picture of our universe or our place in it. We're kept ignorant of ourselves and our origins, and for the most part we don't even know that we don't know anything. Following from this, we might note that some of our oldest stories point to an Edenic utopia in prehistory. The story goes we ate the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, got anxiety, shortly thereafter invented murder of our own kin, and since have been knocking around in exile, living lives of toil and suffering, occasionally attempting to build towers of Babel, making war on each other and daring the gods to rain fire down on our excessive perversions. Taoist texts, including the Tao Te Ching, also refer to a time when true men walked the world. Zhuangzi wrote, "The true man of ancient times knew nothing of loving life, knew nothing of hating death. He emerged without delight, he went back in without a fuss, he came briskly, he went briskly, and that was all. He didn't forget where he began, he didn't try to find out where he would end. He received something and took pleasure in it. He forgot about it and handed it back again." Alfred Korzybski notes that what distinguishes humans from other animals is our capacity for time binding, which allows us to anticipate the future and plan for it, remember the past and learn from it. Some anxiety obviously goes along with that as well. We might posit that the stoned ape theory is worth considering. Humans got into the magic mushrooms, grew prefrontal cortexes capable of splitting the atom and making our nightmares come true, and the story of civilization is the story of us struggling to cope with learning to be god-brained simians with awesome power and primitive instincts. Archaeological evidence like Göbekli Tepe challenges our conventional timeline of civilization, suggesting advanced knowledge existed earlier than we believed. Mythology and legends of Atlantis, Lemuria and other lost civilizations hint at forgotten epochs where humanity may have lived in greater harmony with nature and the cosmos. Esoteric knowledge preserved by secret societies and mystery schools, such as the Freemasons or Rosicrucians, could offer insights into our lost past. These ancient societies, possibly erased by cataclysm or deliberate concealment, may have attained higher states of consciousness and technological sophistication. Our modern understanding, shaped by controlled narratives, keeps us from recognizing these possibilities. Civilization is quite the trade-off. We live longer on the whole, enjoy caloric security, and can organize defensively or offensively. But we are not living as nature intended us to. We get inadequate sunlight and exercise. Our dopamine systems are hijacked by nonsense, and we have epidemics of depression, diabetes, and other health issues, both mental and corporeal. Moreover, we are lonely. Loneliness is the primary disease of modern man. We are meant to live in small tribes of 150 people who all know and love each other. Instead, we are adrift in a world of strangers we mostly don't understand, who care little for us. Eco-psychology studies the relationship between human beings and the natural world, emphasizing the psychological benefits of reconnecting with nature. Traditional ecological knowledge from indigenous cultures offers models for sustainable and fulfilling living. Modern movements towards permaculture and sustainability reflect a growing desire to align human activity with natural processes. Mystic religious thinkers occasionally show up with ideas on tackling these issues, usually speaking of love, charity, and connection to the infinite. We tend to force them to drink hemlock, or we nail them to crosses, or they give up and go into exile when they realize we are not really ready for that. Taoism has three treasures: humility, compassion, moderation. The casual observer can think about this for 30 seconds and realize that modern man is, on the whole, falling well short of the mark in all three categories. We posit that man's fallen condition can be characterized as a state of disconnection from the Tao and its three treasures. We posit that the Tao is a metaphysical principle that can be communed with and cooperated with. Perhaps a society of hominids living in harmony with the Tao would indeed inhabit an Edenic utopia of sorts. In other words, the kingdom of heaven could be said to be here, now, in us, in potentium. Taoist wisdom found in the Tao Te Ching and Zhuangzi's writings emphasizes living in accordance with the Tao, stressing simplicity, humility, and naturalness. These principles offer a counterpoint to the chaos and complexity of modern life, suggesting a return to basic virtues as a path to harmony. Neuroplasticity and spiritual practices demonstrate that meditation, mindfulness, and other disciplines can significantly alter brain function and structure, supporting a return to more natural, harmonious states of being. Integral theory, developed by Ken Wilber, integrates science, psychology, and spirituality, proposing that humanity is evolving towards higher states of consciousness that reconnect us with the divine. The concept of reincarnation, found in Hinduism, Buddhism, and other traditions, suggests a cyclical understanding of life and spiritual evolution. Modern research by figures like Dr. Ian Stevenson, who documented children's past life memories, hints at deeper connections between lives and the potential for spiritual growth across lifetimes. Technological alienation, as discussed by authors like Sherry Turkle, isolates us, while others advocate for digital minimalism to reclaim our attention and relationships. Holistic health approaches that combine physical, mental, and spiritual well-being can address the epidemics of depression, anxiety, and chronic disease. Efforts to create intentional communities, co-housing, and other forms of communal living seek to restore the close-knit social structures that humans are evolutionarily adapted to thrive in. Jung said man cannot stand a meaningless life. We are storytelling creatures with a thirst, a yearning to connect to the infinite. Yet our civilization entraps us in meaningless status pursuits, entices us with nonsense stories, warps our minds with propaganda, and tells us we are specks adrift in a cosmic void, telling us to fill our holes with ideologies and materialist culture. Existential psychology, as explored by Viktor Frankl, emphasizes finding meaning as a primary human drive, aligning with the quest for connection to the infinite. Quantum physics and consciousness research explore the interconnectedness of all things, suggesting that reality may indeed be more dreamlike and interconnected than previously understood. Practices and philosophies that emphasize non-duality, such as Advaita Vedanta and Zen Buddhism, encourage the realization of a seamless unity between self and the cosmos. Perhaps we time-binders need to relearn that time is an illusion. Perhaps we need to realize that there is only the present moment in this wholly dreamlike reality. By dropping out of this sham society and mindfully embracing the Tao and its three treasures, we can become more like the men and women we were meant to be. The cosmos, or if you prefer the natural world, cannot help but cooperate with us in this, in our view. We might consider this a sort of metaphysical secret. As we read in chapter 51 of the Tao Te Ching, all things arise from Tao, they are nourished by virtue, they are formed from matter, they are shaped by environment. Thus the 10,000 things respect Tao and honor virtue. Respect of Tao and honor of virtue are not demanded, but they are in the nature of things. Therefore all things arise from Tao. By virtue they are nourished, developed, cared for, sheltered, comforted, grown and protected. Creating without claiming, doing without taking credit, guiding without interfering. This is primal virtue. This is a difficult concept for the modern mind to bend itself around. But at the very least, consider that from the standpoint of evolutionary psychology, the argument that we would surely live happier, more meaningful lives by returning to a more natural way of conducting ourselves. In conclusion, humanity's path to rediscovering its lost wisdom and reconnecting with the Tao is multifaceted. It involves integrating ancient knowledge with modern insights, embracing spiritual practices, and reorienting our lives towards simplicity, community, and ecological harmony. This convergence of ideas offers a roadmap to a more meaningful and fulfilling existence, aligning with the vision of holistic philosophies. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it is essential to remember the profound wisdom of our ancestors and the spiritual teachings that have guided humanity for millennia. By embracing the Tao and its treasures, reconnecting with nature, and fostering genuine community, we can hope to create a more harmonious and enlightened world. In the end, the journey towards self-discovery and spiritual fulfillment is a deeply personal one. It requires introspection, humility, and a willingness to question the narratives we've been fed. But it is a journey worth undertaking, for it leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves, our place in the cosmos, and the boundless potential for growth and transformation that lies within each of us.